is Geneva. I'm actually a graduate student at Syracuse, so I'm currently at the Maxwell School and I'm pursuing a degree in public administration. And I am originally from Orlando, Florida, but I've been currently residing in Iowa City for the last 6 years.
So why did you want to play a game like Survivor Syracuse?
I was really interested in playing Survivor Syracuse because I'm actually a pretty big fan of Survivor and Big Brother. I've been watching for the last several years. So I figured it'd be an interesting challenge to get the opportunity to play Survivor without actually going 39 days to play Survivor. And when I saw the involvement fair on campus in the fall, I was really excited and interested and intrigued to see what Survivor Syracuse would be like. So because of that, I decided to audition and here I am.
How would one of your friends describe you as a person?
I would say that my friends would describe me to be loyal, honest, straightforward, caring, supportive. That would be some of the, adjectives I would say that would kind of describe me.
So what type of player do you consider yourself to be? For example, some people are more social, some more physical. What do you think?
In terms of a type of player, I would say that I'm probably going to be more of a social player. It's possible that I could be a physical player as well, but since I don't know what the challenges will be, I'm not sure what may be my strong suits or my weaknesses in that sort of sense. But I'd say my social game will probably be a big component of my game. Through my undergraduate experience at Grinnell and my current graduate experience, I've been privileged as well as I've had the opportunity to engage with people from all over the world from various different backgrounds, socioeconomic, political, racial, ethnic, different gender and sexual identities. So through those experiences, I've been able to connect with different types of people. And even at Maxwell, specifically, we have students who are 21 and students who are in their early 30s. So I've been able to get to know and engage and get along with a variety of different people from different backgrounds. So I think my social game is really going to be my stronger suit in the game.
So what are some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses?
Yeah, so I think some of my strengths in general is I say that for the most part, I'd say that I'm pretty direct, straightforward when it comes to being open about certain things. And I think within the social game component, I think it's very important to establish trust, especially with strangers, because they're not going to know me. No one's going to want to trust anybody. And that's just generally Survivor in general. So I'd say that fostering these relationships and being able to get to know people on a personal level will kind of be my strength. In terms of weaknesses, I think maybe one challenge will be figuring out when to speak up and give information and when not to, because there has to definitely be a sort of balance. Because, if you tell someone certain information that may not, be working with you, they can use that information to essentially stab you in the back. So I think it's very important that I, feed enough information so that people trust me and want to work with me, but I just need to make sure that I don't, talk too much and I'm not too talkative about it.
So number 6. So if you have one, what is your favorite Survivor player and why?
Yeah, so actually when I did the interview process, I said one of my favorite Survivor players was Tasha Fox. Part of that was because her first season was actually when I started watching Survivor. So that's kind of, I think, where I was, trying to see if maybe I identified with any social players. And I think throughout her second season, more specifically, not only was she a physical threat by winning, individual immunity challenges, but even with that, I feel like would connect a lot with people and use her social game to get her further in the game. And even though she didn't win, she made it very far in her second season. And she worked with certain people like that were able to, help her get through the game. So ultimately, I want to find, one or two people that I can work with, but also foster and have different connections with other people, because obviously you can't just rely on one person. You have, there are certain situations where you need votes. There are certain situations where you're going to need more people. So I think it's important that I can emulate a game like hers in the sense that I foster strong relationships through my social game, but win when I need to win so that I can stay in the game.
So without not knowing anyone coming into this game, do you have a strategy heading into it?
Well, I am aware that I believe the first day we will have some sort of meet and greet. And then, of course, we'll be put into tribes. So I think it's very important to start, fostering simple relationships and trying to, of course, you have that small talk and trying to get to know people. But I think it's also important that I maybe find similar personalities or people who might be similar to me that I would probably get along well with rather than, I guess, kind of butt heads with. So I think one thing I'm going to do going into the game is trying to find people who are, like-minded or similar to me in some certain senses. I think one thing that may be a challenge, of course, is since I don't know anybody, and I think there's also a smaller probability of me knowing anybody anyway as a graduate student. So I think, honestly, I'm just going to use the people skills that I have when I know I need to kind of get to know people quickly, because I know it'll be a fast moving game. So I'm just going to use those, I guess, relationship skills that I have to foster connections with people. And I guess the one good thing, in a sense, is that no one knows me, because then they can't have preconceived notions about me.
So how do you plan to set yourself apart in this game, whether that be just you as a person or the things you do?
Yeah, so I think overall with my game, one thing that will set me apart is first and foremost probably being a graduate student. There is a possibility, I'm sure, that there will be maybe another graduate student who's cast, but overall, most likely, I think that's probably going to be one of my unique experiences through the life experiences that I've already had, going through undergrad in the past. And I think also just, those extensive experiences I've had in my life with being able to foster so many different types of relationships with different people. And I think those solid connections will get me further in the game and will get people to want to work with me and want to trust me. And then in those points when, I got to make a game move and think about what that game move is going to be, it'll be easier to blindside them, or it'll be easier to do this thing. Now, it might be a challenge in the sense that, I may form like good friendships with some of these people, but at the end of the day, I'm here to play the game. And so first and foremost, it's more about what can I do to further myself. So I think ultimately just my life experiences, I think will be, I guess, a unique asset to my game.
So a hidden question that I did not tell you previously. I'm
Okay.
doing this to everyone. So of course there's going to be a twist implemented into this game. How do you plan and or prepare for a twist that you don't necessarily see coming?
So in terms of twists, this, even though this isn't a Survivor saying, it's a Big Brother saying, but expect the unexpected. So I can't go into Survivor coming with a full-on strategy. That could be a way to go into the game, but I feel because Survivor has so many twists and there are different things that can happen that are unexpected, ultimately I have to go in with a plan, but be able to adjust my plan and alter my plan, because ultimately, things aren't going to go the same way that I want them to go. In the real game of Survivor, you have a lot of instances where you might have tribe swaps and, you might form relationships with a bunch of people and then you have to start over again. You have, certain twists like this previous season of Survivor with Island of the Idols, having Rob and Sandra. And then that was a huge factor into the game that people who didn't go to the island didn't know about. So you gotta, I guess, essentially adapt to certain situations, and that's what I plan to do. So even though there will be twists, which I'm expecting, I'll go in with a general strategy, which is focusing on that social game. But ultimately, I know I can't have a clear, defined idea of what I'm going to do, because things are going to change probably week to week. So I've got to essentially be alert, pay attention to what's happening, not only just in my surroundings with the castmates, but just even what, I guess, the host and whatever production tends to involve us within the twists of the game.
Why do you think you're the winner?
Why do I think I'm the winner? Well, I think that I'm the winner because I think I know this game probably better than at least maybe some of the castmates. So those people, I think, who probably have little to no experience with these sorts of social game experiments or just competition reality shows may not understand how Survivor works or even Big Brother works. And I think one of my advantages is that I've watched both of these shows for several years and several seasons. So I think that just that general knowledge, even though there will be twists and things aren't always the same, at least having that, I think, will put me ahead of a lot of other people. And I think, honestly, going back to my social game, at the end of the day, I think fostering those genuine connections with people, and being able to do it with people of various backgrounds. Even I was talking to one of my family members today, and they were talking about, I guess, how many friends I have or how many people I know from all over and I've been able to connect with in my life. So I think that is really just what's going to help me get to the game, for people to establish trust in me and want to work with me. I know that there will be that challenge of me being a graduate student, because honestly, I feel like it's going to be just something that's hard to hide within the scope of being, with social media, because we're not going to be like real Survivor where we're, like on an island for 39 days. So I want to be honest with people, but, I think obviously there are going to be instances where I'm going to have to lie. But at the end of the day, I think it's really that, those establishing those relationships and being able to work with different types of people. And I think that's really what's going to set me apart, as well as having knowledge of the game in general. I'm really looking forward to playing Syrvivor Syracuse, and I am grateful to have been cast in season 2. I think it'll be really exciting to experience this, especially since it's starting to build, and I'm glad that there was a season 1 and that really worked out really well, and I'm really excited to see what the twists and what will happen. And it'll be also interesting because we'll also be filming right when the 40th season is, premiering Survivor on TV as well. So I think it just will be an exciting way to spend my spring semester as I'm getting ready to leave Syracuse. So I'm looking forward to it. Hi, my name is Geneva, and welcome to my Survivor Syracuse pregame interview.